Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Digest with Jimi Disu. Of course, you know that you're tuned into Nigerian Info 99.3. Good. Happy birthday to I said this morning to Dolapo Dada, and I wish you all the best. There are one or two. I think what's the name of this actor? His name just skipped my head. I was going to wish him happy birthday anyway. There's an issue that I want us to discuss this morning. I just got the idea when I woke up, and I had gotten hold of this famous quote. I want you to listen to this quote very, very well, so that it forms part of our discussion this morning, and all of us are going to participate. Okay, all of us are going to participate. What I advise is, after I've read it, I want you to give it some very good thought. I've prepared Kelvin, our own Kelvin. He would take the lead. When the time comes, we're going to get him on the phone. But I want us to think about it, especially our young ones. There's a pattern now in the social media where you find young people supposedly supporting the government in power, either by being motivated with whichever way, and tend to want to run down anybody who as much as criticizes government. And I found that a very big irony. They completely disrespect age, whatever. Even in dealing with your fellow age mates, there is something called decorum. There's something called decency. If these people are motivated by the party in power, then it's a disgrace to the APC that you would set lions out to go and devour people just because they are critical of some of the things they are doing. All of us are stakeholders. Some of us, and I'm going to go personal, if you'll indulge me, some of us are doing these things so that we can have a much better society to live in. If you look at it in real terms, our economic stake, okay, let me say some of us, our economic stake is limited. But because we feel that there is a need for us to build a good country that will benefit everybody, and when you keep insisting that these things should be done in the proper manner, the least you expect from at least those who are hired, who are called the hirelings of the party, is to have a discussion with you. Insulting Jimi Disu is not going to change anything at all. It's not going to put food in the hungry bellies that are crying for reforms. When it comes to the polling booth, it's not Jimi Disu who will determine the votes. You know how you do these things. So don't let's go there. But I'm surprised that the party would set up a gang of, terrorists. I'll call them terrorists, who do nothing. And what is sad is that they are young people. Have you seen any Ganduje amongst them? Have you seen any Tinubu amongst them? Have you seen any Wike amongst anybody called Wike amongst them? It's these unknown people who, ironically, are the ones who are the most vulnerable, that are being used as attack dogs, to attack people. They attack or Decalo, SAN, professor, once they say anything, that they believe is critical of the government, is to bring out their fangs. So this morning I saw this thing, and I said to myself, Jimmy, you owe an obligation to these people for their own sake to have a rethink. I am not saying be zombies. I'm not saying you can even be supportive of government. Believe you me, if I wanted to be supportive of government, there are enough good things that this government has done. It's not as if they are completely useless. No, it's not. When the time had, given rise to it, we had said, okay, this is good. I mean, who could be critical of the new passport policy? Who wouldn't be? All of us are beneficiaries of the new passport policy. Why wouldn't I be happy to get my passport within a day? Well, I used to get my own within a day anyway. Who wouldn't be happy for that? And a few other things, for example, the exchange rate is coming down. Yes, we are happy, but we are apprehensive. And then that becomes an issue again of abuse. So I said, the least I can do is to read this thing out to us, for us to have We will reform this country, whether some people like it or not. If they want to come from the dogs and come out from the dumps and come out to continue doing things the way, we will not. This country will be reformed. We will have a better society. We will have better behavior. We will. And that's why, for example, I'm 100% supportive of what the EFCC is doing in the case of spraying money. Whether it is biased or whatever enough, we need somebody to put us in check. There must be a mental imbalance in throwing up money and being happy as if it's confetti. That one don't become Chris now. Have you seen videos like that in Ghana? Have you seen videos like that in next door Benin Republic? Go to Benin Republic. If most of the bad behavior you find in Benin Republic, check them out very well. They are Nigerians, because Nigerians have bought up citizenship in that country. And have almost pushed the real citizens out of this. Ask anybody what's going on in Ajasha, Port Novo. It's full of Nigerians who have now become Beninois. Go to Rwanda, you'll be ashamed to be a Nigerian. I haven't been there. I monitor things there. I have a very good ally there who tells me what's going on, who tells me the thinking. Look at the rhetoric. Look at what comes out of a place like Rwanda. When the president speaks, the whole world listens. What are we doing? What are we doing? Uganda is a dictatorship. Look at the discipline that you have there, up to a point. So we will not allow this indiscipline to continue. It's not going to happen. Nobody will be allowed to bully anybody into submission. So I have the quote here. Where did I put it again now? It's gone off my radar. Okay, can you please read it out now? It's gone off your radar too. Okay, we'll look for it. I mean, Sheriff, how do you explain the fact that a governor is being arrested supposedly for corrupt practices, an ex-governor, and then the state governor, his successor, leaves his own office to come and quote and unquote defend him? Defend him how? That he shouldn't be arrested. You now bring jobless people, thugs and whatever. Is that how you treat your own children? Young people, we need to think. We need to think seriously. Of all the people that went to supposedly to guard Yaya Bello, did you hear any Bello's name stated there? No. Let me read it again. It says, the worst part of a society manipulated by politics is to see the poor defending the rich who are responsible for their poverty. Let me read it again. The worst part of a society, okay, manipulated by politics. We've been seriously manipulated by politics. Either they give you 50,000 naira a month, once you go and attack him. Attack him means attack him intellectually, but no, it comes to abuse and whatever. And at the end of the day, the point is not made. It's to see the poor defending the rich who are responsible for their poverty. You are not likely to see the child of any elite involved in all this. You're not likely to see any Oshomole, any Oshoba or whatever, Ganduje, involved in all this. And what is most worrying is when you see these things, check out the profile. Some of them claim to have master's degree. Look at what happened in Ibadan. One of them was a lecturer. He said, I have no regrets. You have no regrets for what? What kind of bravado is that? Okay. All right. So Calvin is going to lead. Is he there? Yeah. Calvin, good morning. I didn't know you were around.
I just listen to you and they laugh.
Okay, you are the one laughing. Kelvin, not because you are my, anyway, we became friends on the job, but I'm calling you because you are one of the most critical, and I've known you now on this other side for close to about 10 years, and I know that you are also sensitive to this issue that I've said. I'd like to, to have your contribution to this saying that says the worst part of a society manipulated by politics is to see the poor defending the rich who impoverished them in the first place.
Yes, Uncle Jimmy, I saw that quote on your Facebook this morning,
Yes.
and I quickly copied it and also posted it.
Posted it.
You see, there are consequences for bad behavior and for good behavior too.
Yes.
And this started way back. I remember in 1998, when some of us were busy fighting a certain dictator. I don't want to mention his name. Those of us around know what I'm talking about. And they brought the same young man that was supposed to join us to fight against this dictator. They brought him and they led a march somewhere, say 2 million march
Yes.
in support of this man. Monies were given to people, and the march of musicians, youths then, everybody went. I was patiently waiting. It was only one man, one musician, that refused to go to that journey, and that is the great son of Anikulapo, Femi. Femi did not go. I was patiently waiting to say, you go join these people. And they all went and supported him. That is the situation that is coming up now in a more elevated form in immigrants. That is why they are everywhere in the social media and all platforms trying to defend the indefensible. We are here now, Uncle Jimmy, and just like that fantastic thriller writer, George Orwell, used to write, that the people that elect corrupt politicians, thieves, are not victims, they are accomplices. And that is what is happening now. The people that are defending these people are living in an elevated ignorance, and it's going to haunt them someday, sometime, somewhere. The children of the people you are defending are not there defending the people with you. You that you are claimed to be the victim, you are the person that is being used to defend evil, to defend corruption. I saw the video yesterday, the people that came to defend the former governor.
Yes.
I was aghast because apparently that state, I don't know, only God will help the people of that state. Because the governor of that state, I don't know. We are already progressing in error. And the people that we are looking up to, that should correct these bad behaviors, are not doing so. So unfortunately, the youth have no more people to look up to. There are less people now to look up to that will give you direction.
Yeah.
Most of the people that are there that you think that will give you direction are also progressing in error. So who do we go to? Who do the people go to? We are left on our own. So I think for me, everybody should know that there's a consequence for good governance. We are the beneficiary of bad governance or good governance. The people. The people, we, the people of Nigeria. If the government goes bad, we are the beneficiaries. If the government goes good, we are the beneficiaries.
Yeah.
So the ball is now in our court as a people. Because most of these people, these politicians, have already paid the way for their people and their children. None of them, I don't think any of their children is going to go through what some of us are going through. I don't think any of their children will go to the market now and want to go and buy a bag of rice or gari or a plate of gari and rice, and you'll be bothered about that. Like we are suffering it here. But it is the same way that will still go when they do something, we'll go and collect money. Look at the other day in Lagos Island. Some people shouted, a big power, a big power. The same people that shouted a big power not long after. We're still praising the same politicians that we were shouting for that a big power.
Well, it is important that we establish the fact that there is nothing wrong in supporting a government. I don't have a quarrel with that because a glass is either half empty or half full, depending on how you see it. But being insensitive, to genuine criticisms and is what, and then going on a full-time assault on people who are asking for their rights.
It is because
that's
when
the part
people don't have
understand.
anything to say, they end up, gagging people. Because you have no defense. When you have no defense to make for something that is going wrong, you end up gagging people and making it like a confrontation. Nobody's confronting anybody. This current president, people know that I love him politically. They know everywhere.
Yes.
That is a political guru. and I respect his political sagacity. Everybody knows that. But we must be able to differentiate politics from governance. And there is nothing wrong in asking questions. I ask questions. The great Anikulapo taught us to ask questions. Because if you don't ask questions, you'll be misled.
You'll be misled.
Yes, you have to ask questions. There's nothing wrong. It doesn't mean you are the enemy of the government. It doesn't mean that you hate the government. Like, for example, when they were doing this issue of food market Lagos, in this food issue in Lagos,
yes,
and they were putting local governments, I asked questions. They asked, Chairman, why is your picture here? Your picture is not supposed to be. It's unnecessary now. Just do the food, this thing, 50% at this country, everything, and let everybody go. Much of picture being everywhere. But some people are sacrificed. They won't answer questions, but they know where it pinches them. So when you ask questions, they will urge you on to ask for them. They will not talk. They are the backseat. They will not talk. They will urge you on. But when you ask
Calvin,
for them,
because time is not our friend here. Why also do you think that we are so badly behaved? Some of the things that are ascribed to Nigerians, like this spraying of money. I have somebody here who says that spraying of money in Ghana is prohibited. In Ghana, he says, I attended a function a few years back. When I advised that the traditional dancers be sprayed money, the woman replied, "This is not Nigeria, oh." Can you beat that? You try it, the police will come after you. So why do we have such deviant behavior?
The society...
Is it our food?
The society has degenerated. And you see, most of this... Have you not seen a video of a governor? They said it was when he was campaigning that he was spraying that money, or when he
was throwing money at the crowd.
Video. Yes, now. That's a governor of a state now.
I mean, for instance, unless I'm told otherwise, why would a government go and demolish a building of a suspect? The person hasn't even been found guilty.
Now to bomb, now he the squeeze them fast. Oh yeah, oh.
Okay. Your point is made. I knew that's why it would dovetail too. Thank you very much, Kelvin. God bless you. Yeah, because I asked that question in all honesty. You know, the Oyo State government, demolished to Nicheri's house yesterday. What do you have an idea what the point would be, Sheriff?
It's possible. Some states have some laws against such things like kidnapping, for instance, treasonable felony, and all of that.
Yes.
And in their laws, they've stipulated the conditions and the penalties.
Okay, is the penalty for the house to be seized or to be demolished?
I do not know. I'm just saying that, for instance, in River State, where I worked for some time, if you're a kidnapper and you're caught, if you have a landed property, a house, the law says it must be demolished.
And not necessarily seized.
Not necessarily seized.
Because couldn't you seize it and immediately put it to public use? And in any case, you haven't even caught the suspect. The suspect hasn't even been tried. I think it was just an emotional reaction. And which is you didn't need that emotional maturity to govern people. What if tomorrow it turns out that woman is not guilty? What if it turns out that, okay, well, she wasn't guilty, okay, because of, what do you call it? I don't want to use the word mental. I'm trying to run away from that. But because of health considerations, this was why she did it. And so she's not guilty as a criminal. You don't get what I'm saying? What if it turns out, what was the hurry in demolishing the house? In demolishing the house, you could have demolished some evidence within the walls of the building, for example. What if there's still a need to do a lot of forensics in that place? It is a BO. We'll soon take a break. This is 9:22. Our lines are... Which of our lines is working now? Just the 0201?
Yes, please.
Okay. So we have only one line today, 0201 465 7190. It is open to male and it is open to female. Hello, good morning. Morning.
Mrs. Oboli calling from Ikorodu.
Morning, Mrs. Oboli. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Uncle Jimmy.
Yes.
I believe the demolition of that base was simply make this proverb. They will say, "Kato peka iroko abi." Tabate te peka iroko. To badak bato akpa onikamo. So that's just
what does that mean
around
now?
gibberish.
I don't
They just
understand
did
what
it.
I don't speak Yoruba.
Okay,
so
I'll
what-
say it in English.
You
Uncle
don't
Jimmy.
speak Yoruba.
They just
I
wanted
don't
to
understand.
cut the tentacles of insubordination.
by demolishing the build.
Exactly,
By
and I
demolishing
feel
the building.
it is so wrong. It is so wrong. It's like putting your cart before your horse.
Even-
Having said that, okay,
Yes.
you're about saying something,
No,
sir.
buildings are demolished if they have defects and so on and so forth. That is understood.
This
You
was
could use this
uncalled
as a local clinic in the neighborhood. You
Yes,
could use it
exactly.
as a library or something. Put it to public use.
It is well. This was really uncalled for.
And
So
what
I
you
want to-
do, sorry, madam, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
What you do is that such buildings, you seal them until investigations have been concluded.
Exactly.
Okay. So.
All right. The other thing I wanted to say, Uncle Jimmy, so we're talking about this spraying thing. Let me shock you. Currently in schools now, primary, secondary schools, they are encouraging spraying the
Yes.
kids when they are performing,
During cultural dance.
maybe cultural day, all these things. Uncle Jimmy, this is a culture, a negativity that has trickled down, and it has metamorphosed into a monster, as it were.
Yes.
And so we have to kill it even in schools now. And you see them telling people, "Oh yeah, they can spray our money, stand up and come and spray them,
Spray them,
appreciate
yes.
these children."
Yes.
It is wrong. If Naira mutilation is going to be nipped in the bud, it should be done in every angle.
Okay, we got to go on
Because
a break
these
now.
children will grow up
Madam,
doing the same thing.
We have to go
Thank
on a
you,
break
sir.
now. Yes, the machine would die, whatever. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
The telenovelas of radio information. More news,
More conversations,
more information,
more sports.
and more talk.
Nigerian's station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Madam, you don't try this new Lush Hair 4-in-1 no lie relaxer kit. We get free neutralizing shampoo and conditioner join.
Whoa, me I no deal.
You not even sabi wetin dey happen for town. You see this Lush Hair relaxer so.
E no dey pepper, e no dey burn. E go even make your hair shine like oil.
Na so, Lush Hair relaxer kit na correct. We no go make your hair cut. We no go make your hair dry. E no dey pepper and e dey relax hair well well. Anytime. Come buy your own.
Lush Hair. Be beautiful.
I, Larry, do promise to take this tear rubber SUV with a V8 engine and 0 mileage to be my baby, to drive from this day forward, and full tank and fuel scarcity, to love and cherish, and protect it with a Leadway Motor Insurance. If you love your car, show it. Visit auto.leadway.com to get your motor insurance in 2 minutes. Leadway Assurance, insuring happiness since 1970.
Dem say health na wealth, but when person dey arrange im health, come lose one hand, one leg. Abi na when you dey hospital, dem come tell you say you must drop heavy money first before dem even think of to begin any treatment.
But when Avon HMO tanda gidigba with you, you no go dey shout yekpa, cause last, now all of us need people. Visit avonhealthcare.com now to get Avon Health Plan for you and your people.
Avon HMO, empowering you to live a healthier, fuller life.
Anywhere Clara enter like this, people must give am compliment.
Clara. This your sense make sense so.
Na because I dey use Wazobia.
Anywhere Johnny enter sef, people must comot cap for am. Johnny. As you enter like this, everywhere just begin smell nice. Which kind perfume you dey use?
Na Wazobia perfume o.
Yes sir, Wazobia na the correct scent wey get quality. E dey last long and e dey give man and woman confidence any day, anywhere.
For authentic scent wey dey indigenous, make you choose Wazobia.
E dey available in perfume and body spray.
You fit get am for stores, supermarkets and open market. E also dey available on top Jumia.
Remember, no be only how you take dress, na also how you take smell.
Wazobia, correct scent for correct people.
Every morning, na better chance to carry your hustle go higher level. So, make you start your day with the correct taste of Nescafe. Start strong, finish strong. Nescafe.
Of trading himself. James, hello.
Susan, I beg. Say you dey whine me.
For where? You who no longer depend solely on your salary.
So you people trade and don't carry us along in this office, Abby?
Jerry, now you they talk like this? Who doesn't want an extra stream of income? But I'm still looking for better trading conditions, I beg. Fast execution on my trades and possibly an account where swap no go carry all my profits where I no know.
Guy, HFM.com.
For me, I wouldn't mind better spreads at all, and it won't be a bad idea to be able to make withdrawals in a flash.
All we want is transparency and great customer service.
Guys, I said HFM.com.
Which one is HFM.com again?
Switch to HFM today to enjoy ultra-fast execution, 1 to 2,000 leverage, tight spreads, swap-free, and more.
Guy, show us the way now.
Wait, are you sure deposits and withdrawals are sharp?
I said HFM.com. Visit www.hfm.com. HFM, online trading at its finest.
You are welcome to my world. Everything looking nice. My Samsung Assurance Galaxy A05. Wasabi, Oshe. The big screen is fire. With affordable screen repair. The camera picture is crystal clear. Everything good and everything nice. With my Samsung Assurance Galaxy A05. Wasabi, special recognition. Everything looking nice. My Samsung Assurance Galaxy A05. Wasabi.
In Nigeria, the weather can change in an instant, just like life itself. Even when you are caught in a heavy downpour or harmattan has left your skin dry, there's one thing that never changes: the restoring power of Vaseline Petroleum Jelly. Because we all know when harmattan strikes, if you are not protecting your skin, it cracks. So do your lips, and no one wants that. So, use Vaseline Petroleum Jelly to keep your skin healthy, smooth, moisturized, and protected all day long, so you can embrace every season with confidence.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
You're listening to Jimi Disu right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yeah, you're welcome back to the Daily Digest. And what we're discussing today is that famous saying that I've said repeatedly over and over again, and trying to see how we can reform our society, where we can, we don't see criticism doesn't make you an enemy of the state, and where we can all sit down and exchange views and whatever without resorting to insults. We must reform our society. By the way, I have a message for Obi Cubana. Obi Cubana was charged yesterday to court.
No, it's not the one.
Who's that?
It's Cubana Chief Priest.
Cubana Chief Priest.
Yes.
Sorry, I got the title wrong. Cubana Chief Priest. Okay, the other one. I'm so sorry, Obi Cubana. Cubana Chief Priest. He was charged to court yesterday, and he was granted 2 weeks to perfect his bail. That was extremely generous of the judge. But stop judging the previous judge by the actions of this judge. There is something called discretion in the exercise of their duty, and sometimes the circumstances are not fully the same. Some people are making some comparison that why was Obi Cubana allowed to go home, whereas his what's the name of that other gentleman, Bobrisky, was sent straight to prison. Their circumstances are different. The judges are different. And they have. That's why you must be very careful, which is why I want to alert Cubana Chief Priest that you need to be careful. Sometimes we think that we have gotten everything perfected, but we don't know that there could always be a twist to the tale. And at a time like this, you don't listen to the voices in the market. you do some introspection and find a way for you to meander out of this in a very gentle manner. This is like driving a boat in a rough sea. This is not a time to be making black power signs at the court or victory sign or listen to the hailings of people. Like Fela says, then go hail you till you die. My association with Fela Anikulapo Kuti is one of the things that I forever cherish in this world, because I learned things that even my father couldn't have told me, because my father didn't have that kind of experience. And so Fela, on leaving jail, he said that, and it's recorded, I think it's in my book, that he thought that no government could jail him. And when you are talking about popularity, back in the day, Fela had it. Fela had it. But that myth about his popularity was broken when he was sent to jail. It was like somebody said, if I hear pim at the court on those days, and Fela in his jocular manner said even people in his own household that he was feeding, some of them either pretended as if they didn't see him, or some of them used their right hands to give him a black power healing, but used their left hand to cover it. Fela in this hilarious manner. But he told me, point blank, that never again, I said, I'm not going to go to prison again. I'd like to tell Obi Cubana to be careful. He was credited with having made one statement, something to do with money is real and things like that. Please note, Mr. Cubana Chief Priest, that even though the offense is about money spraying, the truth is that there's an unspoken war that has started against what people consider to be, I don't want to use the word bad behavior, but that behavior that brings about no value to society. So what I mean is, go about your job quietly, at least for now, go about your life quietly. Don't be deceived, I insist, by those who are hailing you. They have nothing at stake. Okay? Don't believe that everybody hailing you loves you. The people who love you are those people like me who will tell you the truth. I like him. He's doing his business. He's been misled into doing this activity. Because I'm sure that if he sits down and he watches those videos again, he'll be asking himself, why did he do all this? Am I the first person to have money? Am I the first? You won't be the first and you won't be the last. So I wish him luck in his trial. I have a funny feeling that if he has a very smart lawyer, and one of his lawyers is a son, he can inch his way out of it. There are so many theories that have gone on in my head that you can use as an excuse. The issue, though, is this. On one television program yesterday, somebody asked the EFCC gentleman that if apparently in some parties, you go buy the money. So the money that you see making the confetti itself is fake. But you have to, who goes through all this problem? I don't get it. But so, if you use that kind of money and spray, would you be defacing the naira because what you are spraying is not the naira? I think that the law has to be tidied up to also take into cognizance what I will call bad behavior. In general terms, maybe on Saturday I should bring what's this son's name now? My very good friend Yemi. Let me see if I can bring Yemi and maybe what's our other friend's name now? Libros. Let's see if we can bring them, and let's see if, because the thought behind defacing the naira is not just the spraying, it's the bad representation. I think those who drafted the law were more concerned with what they considered the bad behavior and not necessarily so much the currency. So there are some questions that need to be asked. That if I have a paper and I give people, if I have a party, and I can give people bundles of paper that when the musician is singing, you can come and spray me this paper, and I know how to discount it later with the musician, would that be an offense? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Do you get an idea of what I'm saying, Sherry? Would that be an offense? So, personally, I think it's degenerate. What was spraying when we were growing up, and society was more decent, and we didn't have all these, if only mama could see me now. What we had then was Okay, Sheriff is getting married again. By OKG. He's getting married again, and we are dancing. And I just go and spray Sheriff maybe about 1,000 naira just to dance a bit. Then the musician begins to sing, I will Jimi Disu, I will Sheriff. Oh. You know, the musicians like to add somebody's name. I will Kofi Bates, I will Sheriff. Oh. They say that, and I say, okay, a good song. And you just do a bit and you go away. Before we knew it, the Boys Quarters boys arrived and had to show everybody that they had money. That's the origin. Spraying in itself, as originally done, was not so bad. Just that you go and spray a little bit, until when the Boys Quarters boys, Mama could see me now. Then they must show. Then from there, it graduated to throwing the money up in confetti. From there, somebody is going to manufacture one kind of... The Chinese who put that gun together must have been wondering what they want to do with it. That it must be a toy gun. So you can load it with naira. Then you shoot it, and you get a high. It's like buying a knockout. You can buy knockout, some 50,000, 100,000. You ignite to go, boy, and you're happy. Only what you need, before combat. And you're happy. I don't get it. My heart, that you can't, it's difficult for you to find somebody who, even Dangote, that Sonny has a special song for Dangote. I remember those days when I was an active member of Ikoyi Club. Every Christmas, it's the same song. Alaji Dango, Aliko Dangote. And you will find Dangote will spray him, a little bit, and get the hell out of the place. But if only Mama could see me now. I saw the video of one who came up with a suitcase. But let me say something about that suitcase. It didn't start now. I remember there was a club that were called Egbe Amuludun. In those days, we didn't even know them. I can't say that. I was a teenager. I can't say that I knew one or two of them as having anything like a factory or working in a bank. I don't think we didn't have all that. But this was Egbe Amuludun, and I think there were about 10 or 12 of them or so. I can't remember. I think one of them was caught under some dubious circumstances. Anyway, in those days, they would wear one white agbada. And in those days, people used to carry like a black briefcase. So they would come in front of Sonny, and line up, open up the suitcase to show that they had come. It wasn't a surprise to me one day because my dad's house was right opposite Banoso. In fact, what am I saying? Sonny used to park in our compound. I've moved his Obokun then as a young guy. I said, let me even try to move this car. And the driver obliged me. I said, yes. I started driving at the age of 16. I remember that day at 6:30 in the morning, I was washing my dad's car. One of the Egbe Amoloduns with his briefcase, apparently he didn't have a car. And when you belong to these groups, if you don't have money, some people, to show how friendly they are with you, will give you money to go and instead of you to take the money home to feed your family, you can't spray it again. One of them was walking by that Banoso up to Adam Street. He was going home. And Sonny was coming then. As a young chap, the symbolism wasn't lost on me. And drove past him and went home. You were Molodu with your empty briefcase. And you could see the way this guy was walking. Oti dengue. Oti bakpe. You know what they said? Oti correct. You know when somebody is walking and he's bent all over. And he was holding the briefcase. And I put the buckets down. And I just looked. And I'm replaying that scene in my mind now. From way back. So it's and these things, whether you like it, encourage crime. That's why you have all this. Most people are indulged in crime not because they want to settle themselves in society, but they want to be seen. That is why you must drive a flashy car. One day I saw, I see everything. One day I went to this game near me when I was staying in Oniru here. I went to game and I saw 3 of them in flip-flops, rubber slippers. They bought about 4 120-inch TVs. Monique, do you want to sleep? And they were making so much noise. And so These things are what encourage our young people to go into crime. That they must know me. I was speaking to a young friend of mine yesterday, and he told me that 60% of the Nigerian used second-hand cars are those that are bought by the first set of not 419, what do they call it? Yahoo. Yes, when you go from Lexus and you move to this one, to that one, they won't service the car, they won't do anything, that kind of degenerate society. So I'm going to ask Yemi on so if he's listening, somebody should call him. Yemi Candid Johnson. I'm going to ask him. I like, if anything at all, I'd like to hear Yemi speak. Let me just say anything. So on Saturday, at the discourse, I'd like to ask Yemi that, look, come, how can we tidy up our laws? Is the thought of the law actually the crisis, actually the issue? Or is it that it's geared to what? Because before we had something called MAMSA. Now we don't have any orientation agency. Even if we had one, political considerations will throw one lackey in there, and he'll just be printing posters of the president. He won't look at the overall focus. We've tried in the past. There was a time the government was fighting Japa, and there were commercials about Andrew, who's leaving the country, and so on and so forth. We've had that in the past. We must start again. Let's pick some calls. I've given a lecture here today. Is this how lecturers suffer in universities? Oh, my mouth is dry. None of you can even say that, Uncle Jimmy, let me send you something chilled in a green bottle to wet your throat.
Good morning.
Hello, good
Uncle
morning.
Jimmy.
Reverend Pastor, how are you?
Good morning, sir.
Pastor Ladipo.
Good morning.
Don't
sir.
forget next Wednesday. Oh.
Okay, sir. Sir, you've not sent me the venue.
I will send it to you.
Okay, sir. See, Uncle Jimmy, my take this morning concerning those who share those who have commit one crime or the other. The truth is this, that is why it will be very, very difficult to fight corruption.
Yes.
I have a similar case like this in our area, and we all came together and said, this person will not be re-elected. He will not go. Sir, I don't know how they did it. One of the top person among us, I don't know how they did it. And they cornered the young man and gave him 1,000 naira. So painful. That was either after the 1999, the next election. I didn't know. And the day of that election, everybody, all of us, were prepared to come out against this, only for us to see him. Carry bell, was ringing bell in the rain, inside every rain. At the end of the day, I told him, young man, spend this money for the next 4 years. It turned into physical fight too. But what I'm saying in essence is, we continue to encourage these things because some of these people are also thinking that at least even if it's a scrum, I can get from this man. So that is the mentality behind this support. If somebody has committed a crime for crying out loud, even if it's my church member, will I mobilize people
your
to
church
go and...
member where they pay better tithes?
Sir, will I mobilize people to come out and say, hey, let them not take him? Is it because of either the tithe or the offering or what is given to me? No, let's face reality. Sir, the reason these things continues like this is because the people's mentality has been reprogrammed. Some of them are believing that if they do this thing, they will see their face. And at the end of the day, they will write their names and say, this is your token, this is your token. And they don't even know that they are impoverishing themselves the more.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Please, I'd like to correct an impression that I'm against you supporting the government. Of course not. I'm not that. Like I said, what sometimes trying to translate from Yoruba to English has its own problems. What's Sheriff, think of how to translate that. But let's just settle with half full and half empty. The theory of half full and half empty. That some people. So there's nothing wrong in supporting government. I supported Governor Fashola to the hilt. I criticized him when there was a need. I never met him. I didn't meet Fashola until 8 years after. Until after he had been in government for 8 years and he left. Before we met, because at the very least, it made life more tolerable for me in Lagos. I know the state of my neighborhood in Surulere before he became governor. I know what Adenuro Ogunseya looked like. I was told, so some people argued that his predecessor did some work. As far as I was concerned, he didn't do nothing. This man, they said he was laying the foundation. Okay, I didn't see any foundation. But this man, no, it's true. And I supported him till this day. Because I'm convinced within me that what he did was part of. It's not, and these things are not personal. They're not personal at all. 9:48. Let's pick another call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Uncle Jimmy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
You see, our problem is the document itself. Now, for example, when you say this should be one way, nobody should take it.
Yes.
And you see a minister coming with his bag, taking one way.
Yes.
What do you think the other people will do? They will follow suit.
Yes.
So the government itself, you see them spend money in the party. And you
okay, we have to go. We have to go off the line because it's not clear. But your point is made. Even in churches now, they spray money. During Thanksgiving, in some churches, you find them spray money. And like Mrs. Oboli said, in schools, I've fought that to a standstill, but you will never get support. Stop spraying these kids when they are doing traditional dances. Can't you make it so that you learn and teach them to appreciate clapping from the audience? Why do we have so much bad behavior? How can you spray a 3-year-old money? To do what with it? But when a minister saw a kid on the road, a minister of the Federal Republic saw a kid and gave him a bundle of money, and it was recorded as an achievement on video, we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go. I'm tired. I've run out of... Sheriff, in this studio, you should have something nice and cold that we can sip.
Do you need something nicer? Under what? Where?
Under the table, because we can't exhibit the bottle. The bottle being green or dark brown, as the case may be.
I bought one fruit juice. Yes, the bottle was green.
Fruit juice is not nice early in the morning.
I will help and bring you some
fruit juice early in the morning will run the belly.
Well, that's what it is.
Don't worry. By the way, the good news is that anytime from now, Daily Digest will be sponsored 2 days out of it, and they will be sponsored by Nigerian breweries. So I won't say more than that. So very soon you'll see a happy Uncle Jimmy, especially on Wednesdays and Fridays. You'll be bubbling. You'll be, whatever you do, don't look under the table. Okay, I got to go. I'll be back again tomorrow. Tomorrow is for our youth. So we'll be looking at what our young ones are doing. Thank you very much, Sheriff, for being here with us. And I hope we're not making enemies out of anybody, but let's all change our ways. At the very least, let's be polite to each other. Thank you very much, Kelvin, for giving your time at short notice. So I'll see you all tomorrow. What's Up Lagos comes up next. Bye.